Hello and welcome to JoyRide with your hosts, the Metaphysical Moms, Tiffanie and Carrie. JoyRide takes you on a spin through all things spiritual and soulful, including holistic healing, energy work, and personal development. Now, here are your hosts, Tiffanie and Carrie.
Hello, all our Joy Tribe out there. Welcome to summer. We just had our summer solstice, and we're doing things a little bit differently this time because I am in studio in Houston, and Miss Carrie is on vacation, and she's joining us via Skype with our new metaphysical friend, our new metaphysical mama friend, Miss Heather Huff. Hi, guys.
Hi. Hi. I can't believe we can do this. Look at the magic of technology.
Yay. So we're trying to make this work where we can all see you because y'all are just beautiful. You look just in total summer mode. You look relaxed and you've got your kids running around. What a great time. How is it there?
Oh man, it's just beautiful. I wish you could see it. It is so green. So we are right outside of Austin, and we're at the river, and it's all spring fed, so it's really, really clean and just pure, and there's so many light minds right here with us, and so it's just incredible. So you said that we look relaxed, but this is about the most dudded up I've been in the past week. I mean, I'm actually wearing a little bit of lipstick and a little bit of mascara, and I did my hair, and we have a little baby. Not little baby, she's 4. But anyway, so we wanted to share all the incredible stuff happening. I mean, we just, last week we talked about frequency and how you attract, and I've attracted this beautiful person into my life, actually a few years ago, I think.
Yeah, I think we're going to say hello to my daughter for a second.
Come say hi. You say hi?
Hi, she's a little mini me, isn't she? She's so cute.
Sequoia, she's my youngest, and go eat whatever you want, okay?
So we are, it is, okay, so I have to tell you, she invited me to this solstice gathering. You tell us about it.
Okay. It was a summer solstice gathering, so I love working with moms and families and growing communities, and so there was a bunch of people that came over to the house, and we had a big potluck. Everyone brought delicious food. Here comes my daughter again. Yes, go ahead. Okay. And after that, we went out to the front yard, and we did a cute meditation out on the front yard overlooking the golf course. And it was great. There was people of all ages in the circle. So from, I think there was actually someone younger than her. I think there was a 2-year-old in the circle, all the way up to adults. We did lots of rattling, and we did a meditation, and we called in the directions, and we worked with earth energy, opening a vortex, bringing heightened energy into the city of New Braunfels. So it was very exciting and inspiring to be doing that work here.
And that's actually where we came in. My son and I drove up, and they were all, and I thought they were taking pictures of the sunset. So I roared up in my van, and I was about to honk. I was like, oh, no, wait, they're meditating. And because we got up a little bit too late, but we did get to visit. I can't talk. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so Melanie, I called you that the entire time.
Really?
Heather.
I don't know. I'm like, Heather. I must have had my name when we knew each other in our last life together.
She happens at vortexes, sleeping vortexes. And so is that how you say that, vortexes?
Well, some people say vortices.
Vortices.
Some people say vortexes.
We're from Texas, so we call it vortexes.
So we need to back way up because, Heather, I don't know much about you. I've just recently been introduced to you, and you are the awakening. You're the awakening coach, and from what Carrie has told me about you, just call each other whatever. You have been on a spiritual path for a long time, and you've realized that part of your process is to help people ground this light, love energy that's coming to the planet, and you're actually able to open vortexes, new sleeping or latent vortexes to help bring this energy to Earth. So tell us, I know nothing about that. That's the first time I've ever heard somebody, it's their title. I'm a vortex opener. I love it.
that cool?
I actually put that on my Facebook description one day, and my husband was like, "That's too weird. You need to take that down."
It's not too weird for us. We want to hear about it.
Right. Yes, exactly. So I was sharing with Carrie, a.k.a. Melanie, yesterday, because she asked me, how did you learn how to do this? Where did this come from? And what I shared with her, and I had to think about it for a little bit because it's been happening for so long. So when I was 15, which she didn't believe me, was in 1992.
I thought she was about 32. She's closer to our age, not right there. But
It's all that good
closer.
living, right?
I'm in the over 40 group. I had a massive spiritual awakening when I was 15, and which just completely changed my life and opened up the awareness of the trajectory of why I was born and what I'm here to do. And it was basically like, okay, let's get on with it now.
Well, can you tell us about the experience and what it was like for you to have that? The before, the during, the after?
Yeah. So pretty much I was sharing with you yesterday. It all happened on this one night. So I always tell people I come from a totally normal family. My parents are not like, hooey-wooey or out there by any means. And, but my whole life I've been able to, the energy and hear and feel the consciousness of trees and of animals and of rivers and nature, right? And, I've also been able to see and hear people who are in the spirit world. So it took me a while to realize that wasn't everyone's normal experience of reality. So that was just kind of my normal, right? And then one night when I was 15, I heard a voice speak to me and say, "You need to go outside and meditate." And I had no previous experience with meditation, and I just said, okay. I had learned long ago to trust that voice, that it knew what was up, and that I always did better when I trusted it. So I went out into the backyard, and it was a big full moon, and I put myself in lotus position, and I connected with the moon. I looked at the moon. I felt the energy of the moon. I could literally feel the consciousness of the moon connecting with me, and I was able to connect with it. And so I closed my eyes, and I saw myself filled with this light. And I just breathed with it and was present with it, and it went on for a while. And in the vision, I saw a huge ring around the moon, and the ring was full of people who were waking up. It was like a tribe, like a family of just awakened people. And I was in the circle. And when I opened my eyes, there was an actual big ring around the moon that had not been there when I closed my eyes. And I was never the same after that moment.
That is
powered her up.
Yeah.
Powered you up.
Right.
And
right. So after that, I became pretty much just obsessed with, taking any meditation class I could find, reading every metaphysical book I could find, just delving into everything metaphysical and spiritual. And then, so to the vortex thing, so it was around that time I was going to a lot of concerts, and I would notice when I was in big crowds of people that I would get stopped. My body would just stop moving, and I would see a huge ray of light come down, white light, come down into my body. I see it pass through my body, goes through my feet and into the earth, and then kind of like the epicenter of it would be up in my heart chakra. And I would stretch my hands out, and it would go out of my hands, and I just saw light going out into, where people are just dancing, and
it was at a Grateful Dead.
Yeah, the most profound one that ever happened was at a Grateful Dead concert, where I actually had my hands extended, and I saw the light going out of the palm of my right hand all the way around the earth, back into the left palm, while the light was coming down through me and extending out everywhere, and I would just see like domes and pyramids of light, covering the people. And you asked me why did I think it would happen in crowds and at concerts, and I really think it's because people have their thinking minds turned off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, right. So there's like this big group of people who are open. You know, they've turned their thinking minds off, and so all this light can come through.
Especially all the deadheads, because they're such loyal, loving fans. So,
and that's probably why it would happen in those kinds of, you know, situations.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, tell her about the, I've been thinking about that. Tell her about the blue light you saw on your walk.
Yeah. So well, I think it was the day before. I wanted to say about when that started happening when we moved here, though. Because those, did I tell you that? The rays of light coming down?
Lots of it?
Yeah, so when we moved to New Braunfels, I'm from Southern California. When we moved to New Braunfels, that ray of light anchoring down in my body, it hadn't happened for a really long time. But every time I would walk outside with my oldest, who was then like 2.5, it would happen, and I would kind of get paralyzed while this light anchored down. And finally, after a couple months, I decided to ask Spirit, like, what the heck is going on? And the answer I got back was, this area is transforming into a vortex. And the light, I'm acting as an anchor for the light, opening it up.
I'm having a total deja vu moment right now. That was so weird when you were saying that. Yeah. I've heard you say that before. I've never met you before today, so that's so cool. So I just one of those synchronicities that we're all on the right path.
Right. Yeah. So shortly after that, I received guidance because there's a lot of huge trees around here. The Founder Zone. Do you remember that tree? It's like over 300 years old.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So I received this piece of guidance in a meditation that the trees were part of the awakening, and to go and to touch the trees and say, it's okay to wake up now. It's okay to wake up now. It's okay to wake up now. And so there's this partnership going on of anchoring the light with the trees. So in the solstice meditation, we worked with the energy of the trees and kind of came into a harmony with the trees and worked with them to bring more light into this town.
So you say you're waking up the vortex that's in New Braunfels. So does every town have a vortex? Does every place, like how do you know where they are and which ones?
Are you drawn to them?
Or how are you?
I don't know. Right. I don't know if every town has one. I just know I'll get a feeling when I'm near one that is waking up, and then I'll just sit there and work with the land and bring in the energy until it feels complete. I mean, I've been in New Braunfels doing this for 6 years, so I don't know how long it's going to take here.
But I was saying, I look where we are, though. I mean, I think that there's so much nature, and people will be here. People will be here next week.
Okay.
And it is just the vibration, energy is already higher. I think.
Yeah.
Thank you with a lot.
Okay, you need to see something. Okay,
we have
your sister to help you, please.
We have. No. This is Metaphysical.
This is We Are the Moms.
Okay.
This is how this all started. We'd sit around the coffee table drinking our tea or doing our beading while the kids were playing. And, you know, we're moms. We can have an interrupted thought about 8,000 times and just pick right back up where we left off. So everybody understands.
Other moms, other moms don't flinch when you're like, yes, honey, just fine.
Well, yes, that's exactly right.
So, like, the sense I have is that there's lots of sleeping vortexes that are getting ready to wake up. You know, as our consciousness is increasing, as the Earth's consciousness is increasing, as, you know, the cosmic light is increasing in vibration, right? These energy centers are needing to open up so that we can do what we need to do. So I hope to work with lots of them. I think that's kind of probably where this is going, is, you know, going to different places where the energy centers are sleeping. Not these, I mean, there's giant ones, of course, like Sedona and Hawaii. But I'm talking about the ones that are sleeping, working with those that are awakening.
Well, and I think they're all part of the same. At one point years ago, I looked at the different vortexes And it was interesting. I've been to most of them, not all of them. I mean, but I've been to a lot of them. But I wasn't aware. Right. So you're just sort of drawn to them. But you do, and if you look, so many of them are in very specific spots on the earth. Mm-hmm. You know, the ley lines, and I don't know a lot about that, but I do know that there is a correlation with pyramids and
there's a map.
There is a map.
There's a map.
Like your map, right? Map. Where did so where do you think this is going? I mean, what is the significant long term of this?
Right. So what I've experienced is that when you work with opening a vortex with other people, mm-hmm. those people have a sustained and like marked increase in their ability to stay aware.
So when you lift it, you don't, because you get those flashes and then they're gone.
Right.
And so that it'll help us see through the veil basically and be able to hold that frequency, maybe.
I don't even know if it's so much seeing through the veil as it is just becoming more aware in our bodies. Just in a moment to moment, day by day, this is my new normal, is, you know, much higher levels of awareness and connectivity to our intuition and conscious connection with the earth and with nature and with each other, because that's part of it too, is as we wake up to sleeping vortexes, and when we do it together, we connect in a deep way with each other, you know, and with nature that holds us, right? We kind of change the matrix that we're living in.
And that, so to prove it, to talk to that, yesterday you had a lot going on. She had you know, Reiki classes, she teaches Reiki, she has clients, you do all this incredible stuff. Melanie. And so she had sent me like a Facebook message.
Yeah.
And I immediately, when we got home, put on my swimsuit, went down to the
island.
Yeah, to the island. And there she was. I just knew you were there. I mean, it's a pretty safe bet.
Right.
But I knew she was there. It's sort of like being able to follow. Like with you, Steph, I know where you are. I mean, it's just, you know, are you above ground? Are you kind of dormant and kind of taking a break? I can always find you. And I think that speaks to that connection.
Right.
So it's incredible. And, you know, was it last week's show that we talked about opening up, because I know with Marconic, that part of it is bringing the light to the earth and grounding it, mm-hmm. and because Mother Earth needs it, right. and I think the more she heals, the more she can heal us. You know, mm-hmm. sort of
it is definitely a two-way, right? We're the intermediary between cosmic light and Earth energy. So as we Earth light, we are simultaneously also bringing up the energy of the Earth. Right, so we're not just anchoring, we are becoming the intermediaries.
So we're almost like
we're the acupuncture needle.
Conduit. There you go.
Wait, say that again? You're the acupuncture?
We're the acupuncture needle.
Oh,
right?
It's like a little lightning rod.
Right. Isn't it cool?
Yeah, I got that. I just got the...
I love that visual. Be your own little acupuncture needle. So can you speak to the energy of the earth? Can you say you can communicate, you feel the energy of the trees, you feel the energy of the earth. And I can tell you, I've been so drawn to be outside more, and we're in Houston. It's pretty much built on a swamp. So out there with the bugs and the birds and the critters. But I've been out there. I even went to Academy and bought like a screened in tent so I can put that outside and just sit on the ground and meditate out there, just right on the ground. It feels so good.
Yeah.
And so you say you can feel the energy of the trees, and what does that feel like to you?
Well, you know how when you're a new mom and you're getting to know your baby, and your baby doesn't speak, but you know what your baby's feeling.
Yes.
And you know what your baby's thinking, and you know there's communication going on. It's nonverbal, right?
Yep.
So what it's like, like right now I'm connecting with my pear tree because it's totally been connecting with me through this whole thing. I feel it in my body. So I feel the energy of the tree connect into my body. So it's not up in my head.
Sure.
It's It's a feeling experience where when you let yourself stay out of your head, you can know the tree. So there's not a mental dialogue going on. So the tree has been sending me encouragement and support since I started, because it knew I was nervous to do this. So I've been feeling this support energy coming from the pear tree, and it's like kind of rooting me on, right? And so what it showed me just now is how its root system goes really deep into the earth, right? And it gets its nutrients from way, way, way down. And that it goes way down is how it can stand up so tall. So it's just a feeling, sensing experience that lets me know the tree. I'm not sure how else to explain it. Is that even making sense?
Yeah, that's perfect. That makes great sense. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That was a really nice visual.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder, like, do people just think I'm so crazy? That's good, you know? Right. Yeah.
But we know our Joy Tribe out here, we're all speaking the language, and you may sense and feel things differently and have different gifts and abilities that I don't, but I'm developing. And so we all speak our own brand of crazy and love and honor it. And so I thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for accepting this and being your little acupuncture needle for the earth and teaching us how to do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. So the reason you're feeling called to be outside more is because when we go outside, so I never remember the actual specific hertz, you know, the electric pulse of the earth.
Oh, hertz, like HERTZ. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to, I'll always just make up the number 500. So say the earth electrical resonance is 500, right? So all of the plants and all of the animals that live outside resonate at that same electric frequency, right? But we spend most of our lives in electrocuted boxes, our houses and our offices. The frequency of the electricity is much higher than the frequency of the earth, and our natural frequency is the same frequency of the earth. So we're kind of walking around like this all the time, right? Right? And so when we're like this, it's much harder for us to be in tune, right? It's much harder for us to be aware of our intuition, to be connected into the earth. So when we go outside, it actually takes 30 minutes for your body to shift from the frequency of the electricity boxes that we're in to the frequency of the earth. And so you become reconnected. And so your circuitry, you know, heals, and you come more into alignment with nature, so you become more in alignment with yourself. Oh, I love that.
That makes such perfect sense. Plus, now we've got all this Wi-Fi zooming around, and I know all the EMFs. Right. I mean, it's all invisible, but our body's having to deal with all of that. So everybody says to get back out in nature is one of the easiest things you can do to kind of recenter and ground, and that was a perfect explanation of why.
Great explanation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what a simple, free thing that we can all have access to, right?
So, just go outside.
Even this morning when I walk my dog, I take my shoes off and I go walk in the wet grass, and it feels great. Yeah. Sorry, Carrie, I cut you off.
They go outside barefoot.
No. I love that. I love that because we don't get to do it as much. I mean, and that's what I love about being up here is that you can't help but do it. I mean, it is instead of, I don't know, whatever it is we do in the afternoon, it's like, let's go to the islands and let's go float and let's go be in the water. And these aren't just waters, they're springs, and they bubble up. It's like you're in a bowl of fizzy water. Yeah. But it's so I don't know how that makes a difference, but I have to be near whether it's the beach, the river. I have to be near water.
I'm the same way.
Like every night. Mm-hmm. And so it's it's wonderful.
Yeah. So the water neutralizes excess electrical current.
Oh, good. Yeah, and I do wonder about all the water.
And so this water, I mean, it's healing. This water is very special water. It's not just normal water. It's coming right up out of the earth, right up out of an aquifer, just surrounded by so many very old plants. So plants that have been here for a long time, right? Their capacity to be acupuncture needles is humongous, right?
Texas, I'm sure.
And they've been doing it for a long time. And so the more and more trees that are cut down, right? Like we're having this massive deforestation all over the earth. So when trees are clear-cutted, when trees are cut down, there's a root system underneath the earth where all of the trees communicate, right? They're all connected. So when we lose tree after tree after tree after tree, you know, the remaining older ones that are here, like they're holding even more light. They're holding even more consciousness, right?
Mm-hmm. There's a book that just, what's the name of it? It's this man that wrote this book, and he worked in the woods, and he would see things. He realized that there was a stream with a stump, and he went to the stump, and he realized it was still alive, and that the network of roots underneath were keeping it alive. So if you have one tree that's lacking, the other trees will reach out to it and give it what it needs. Mm-hmm. It is phenomenal. I mean, I have no idea. And what's really weird, I mean, just my weird stuff, I now see faces in trees.
Oh, yeah.
I always see faces in trees. And
they're fake.
Oh, I love that. I think that is magic.
Yeah, so back to that idea of the acupuncture needle. So we are actually being called by the trees to wake up, right? The trees are being cut down, so they are the acupuncture needles, right? They always have been. But as they're being cut down, they're saying, hey, guys, we need some help. We need some help, right? That's part of why people are waking up so fast right now, is it's really needed. Like, we need to wake up. We need to be working together. We need to be connected.
Well, that's our guest last week. She said, it's like we were supposed to all wake up at a certain time, and everybody gets here, like they're here to work with us, and we're asleep. And they're saying, what? Wake up! So that's why things are really starting to rise higher and higher. And there really are. I mean, I wasn't sure if it was just one of those things where I buy a pink car, so every car sees pink, and I'm kind of tuned into that and I attract that. But I think there's something to it, because it is, if you look at the grocery store, just mainstream, you'll see things on acupuncture, on healing through herbs, and I mean, and that's mainstream, right? And you see a lot on TV, and you see it a lot. You see a lot of things, you know, speaking with the dead, and you know, and it's a start. It's a great start. This is not all there is. And okay, so if they want to find you, people want to find you and work with you, how do they find you?
I'm on Facebook. I have 2 pages: The Awakening Coach, and then my regular page, Heather Lee Huff, LeeHuff. And I can be reached on email, heatherleehuff@gmail.com.
Oh, you got your name. That's so cool. That's so cool. So she's incredible. I mean, you're just incredible.
Thank you.
If someone was to come see you, Heather, if someone was to come see you as a client, what kind of services can you offer?
Right. So I work with people one-on-one. I also work with couples, and I work with families. So when a person comes to see me, it's a 90-minute session, and what we'll do is we'll do a really thorough intake of, you know, what's going on in your life? Who are you right now? You know, who are you becoming? Who have you been? What are the challenges that you're facing, right? And, so we do a lot of deep emotional healing. So, you know, people come in who are just in big transitions in their life, or, you know, losses, and I help people to heal from the pain that is stuck in their body. So I talk with a person, get to know them, hear what's going on, and then we move to the Reiki table. And I use Reiki in a way in partnership with the client. So it's an active session for the client. It's not just to come in, lay down on the table, fall asleep while I'm, you know, giving a Reiki treatment. It's very active. I'm helping a person to come into deep contact with their bodies and find the wisdom in their body and learn how to hear their body and learn to trust what their bodies are telling them. So, you know, say you come in and, you know, you've been going through something really hard, and where you feel it the most is in your stomach, right? So we go to the table, you lay on your back. I put my hands on your stomach, and then we would start a conversation with your belly. You know, we would get to know what's living here in belly, and how can we, what needs to be healed, you know, and we kind of take it from there and do what needs to happen. whether it's emoting, whether it's, saying something, whether it's just breathing in healing and letting out the tension, whatever it is, until balance is found.
That's beautiful.
You will do that in conjunction with healing. I mean, like you'll bring in Reiki.
I'll be doing Reiki the whole time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Mm-hmm. And so then we kind of follow where it goes.
But then you also teach meditation, right?
I do teach meditation, yes. It's a meditation that, so when I was 15, I went on this like crazy, I'm going to learn every form of meditation. It wasn't like that, but it's every meditation class in San Diego, there was teachers coming, and so I would go to classes, and I just was so excited to learn all this. So after many, many years of that, I was telling Carrie, I went on a 10-mile run one day, and I just got this download of like how to put like pieces from all these different things together to create this course where we use meditation as a vehicle to go into and heal each of the chakras. So it's just one lesson a month because it's deep, and with the farther out, the finer we get into the energetics of our healing, kind of the slower it takes. Yeah. So there's the meditation to work with in the energy body and in your body, and kind of deep processing work that you do on your own in between lessons as well to really get a well-rounded healing experience each month, working our way up through the chakras. So I ended up developing like 3 classes. So there's the first, the 7 main chakras, and then there's a class of secondary chakras, and then there's a class of chakras that are all in the energy field. And I usually teach that in my Reiki Master program.
Wow. Oh, and you were saying that you're taking that on, or you have that online. So you have a course that starts
I do
fall.
teach over the phone. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I teach local classes and I teach distance classes. So anyone, anywhere can take them. So the group really becomes like a support group, and everyone helps each other move through month to month. And then, one of the end results is just being a much clearer, grounded, more open, more centered person.
Well, and I think it's to really know, I know them, but to really feel and know, ooh, right, that's activated. What's going on? To recognize and see it.
Right, to become chakra.
Exactly.
Right.
I think that's incredible. Mm-hmm. I'd love to take that.
Yeah,
I think we should take that class.
I should.
Sign me up.
All right.
So
can we talk? What?
Go ahead.
No, she had an incredible experience. I don't know. Do you want to talk about that? About the dream?
I can.
Do you want to talk? Do you want to go somewhere?
No, that's fine. Please, I want to hear about it.
That made all of my bells go off. So, anyway, I'm letting you take it.
Okay. So, as my whole life, so as a child, so I've had this recurring type of dream since my childhood. And in the dream, I'm always with these 3 South American elders in the dream. It's always at night. There's usually moonlight, and I'm always by a fire with them. And I've had these dreams ever since I was a child. And I remember as a child being really aware these are real people. I don't know where they are, but these are real people. It was not like my normal dreams. It was just like this, right? And when I would have the dreams the next day, I would feel different, right? So the one you're talking about, that was about exactly 2 years ago this summer. And so my youngest was 2, and I went, into the mountains in the dream where they always are. And it's 2 elder men. So like one's very old, and then the next one was like his student type of thing. He's old, but he's not as old as, and then there's like a medicine woman, right? A really old medicine woman. And in this particular dream, she was boiling some herbs and poured it into a cup, and I was to drink it, and I drank it. And so in my dream, I go into this deep trance, and I feel myself just becoming more and more and more and more separated from my physical body. Like I'm sinking really, 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 really far down. And I'm continuing to be connected, like I can feel them. I'm aware of myself still. I'm aware that I'm going somewhere else. I'm aware that I'm dreaming. And I get to this place where in the dream, 4 days and 4 nights had passed. And they had laid me down like on this table, it was just this big stone table, and I was just laying on it. And the 2 medicine men had left. The sun was rising, and the medicine woman was standing over me, and she put her hands on my heart. And what I felt conferred from her was that I was lost. I was gone.
You've gone too deep. It
was just like this shell. Like there was not much still happening with my sister. I was barely alive, right? And so I felt her, connect with me way down wherever it was that I was. And it made me realize I was lost. And it was like I was swimming up. I was a surfer for 20 years. So it really felt like I was swimming up from like really, really so far down in the ocean as fast as I could, almost like I was holding my breath the whole time. And when I finally get to my body, I slammed into my body, awake. And at that time, we were bed sharing, and my oldest daughter, who was, 6, she wasn't in the bed, but I heard her crying in the other room, talking to my husband. And I heard her saying, "She's not there, Daddy. She's not in the bed."
Oh, you had physically gone in this life too. In this 3D reality, your body had physically gone.
Right. So it was the hardest slamming back in that I've ever experienced. I'm sure you know that feeling, like when you slam back into the dream.
Travel.
Yeah. So it was the most startling sensation of that I'd ever experienced. And I sat up in bed, and my husband and Lily Rose come carrying in, and they turn on the lights, and I'm sitting there trying to process what just happened to me. And him looking at me dumbfounded, like, "Where were you?" I wasn't in the bed. I have no explanation.
You just traveled through time and space, yeah.
Right.
Had an interdimensional trip, yeah.
Right.
To have that kind of proof, to have that kind of real-time evidence.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Right. And so, once I got my daughter settled back down, I couldn't go back to sleep, and I went out and I spoke with my husband, and I feel weird saying this because I know it's out there, but I know people will get it. I really felt that in that dream I had passed. And it was the realization that I have children that pulled me back up to the top, and I feel like I grabbed onto a timeline. It was very similar to the one I had been in, maybe just a little bit different, and plugged back into that one.
For that mother love to say, I'm here, I'm still needed here in this life.
Right. I wasn't ready.
What a journey. So what do you feel like those elders are teaching you, other than giving you these incredible experiences? What do you feel like their purpose is as guides for you?
I remember when I was a kid, and I would, they were training me. They're training me. And I have this strong sense that I'm actually going to meet them in this world one day. I really do. I have a sense that I just understood about a month ago. I think I know where they are.
Somewhere in South America.
I feel so weird saying this out loud.
No.
We have a road trip coming on then, a little detour on the JoyRide here.
Yeah. So they've been teaching me. No, they're not in they've been teaching me and preparing me. That's all I know.
Where do you think it is? Do you like Ecuador or?
Do you want to say? I don't think she wants to say.
Somewhere in South America, yeah.
It's in South America.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. Well, I think that is. Thank you for. I know that's an intimate one.
It's okay. Yeah, I'm happy to share because that's part of this. Is we all have to get out of our comfort zones to help this shift happen, and this sort of thing needs to be talked about more often because it's only in relatively recent human times that we're disconnected from
what all of the indigenous peoples on this earth are completely aware of.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And I think that there are people that are having experiences and either they don't realize it, that they think it's normal, or, oh, that's just a dream, or I drank tea, whatever, however you justify that. But sometimes you never know what triggers,
Right.
someone, and that flips that switch on.
Right.
Right. And the energy behind it. I think it's beautiful. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
That's
my pleasure.
That's incredible.
Well, and
But
that's what our whole. Go ahead. I keep interrupting you. Sorry, we have a little bit of a lag here.
No, I doubt. So no, there's
I was
no
saying
lag.
that's what this whole show is about. That's why Carrie and I decided to go live on Facebook and put this out there to create a community of people who are walking a spiritual path, seeing and feeling things differently, and a place to speak about your experiences. It helps validate what other people are going through, and open our awareness to all the other different ways that energy and love can be expressed and perceived. So that's exactly what this whole show is for, is to have this kind of conversation. And it's just lovely. I remember, I think it was a documentary about elephants, and they were talking about how elephants walk the ley lines of the earth, and we're putting up all these fences, and they can't get through, and they'll just come to a fence and get stuck, and people are like, well, they could just go around, and they want to walk the ley lines of the earth to help keep that energy in that way. And so we don't, like you said, we're cutting the trees or putting up fences, and we're disrupting these energy patterns that are fundamental to the health and well-being of our planet. So you bringing awareness to this of, like, we need to, it's our choice to preserve this energy, to keep it going, and to do our part in it. Maybe stop some of the behavior that's destructing it, and increase our awareness and do things that we can do to ground it.
Right. Yeah. So I have this vision of just going around the country and working with people in their towns, waking up energy centers in people's towns where, and just help the whole awakening thing happen.
Oh, I love that. I think that's our call to action. I mean, I think that is and it looks different for everyone. For some, it's actually cleaning. Cleaning up the earth. For some, it's getting in connection. There's somebody right here. Who is this right here? I don't know. I keep feeling like I have this buzz. I have this pressure. No, let's get it on this side, not on this side. So there's somebody there. We'll talk about that. So I know that you have different, and that's what I was really bummed about. I really wanted to learn more on the solstice. Why is it so important to do these things during these certain times of the year? Winter solstice.
Yeah, and then there's also the 4 corner days. So there's the days that are, like May 1st, which is halfway in between spring and summer, and then August 2nd, I think, halfway between summer solstice and fall equinox. So it's when the energy is just all amplified, right? There's just more available to work with, right? So it thins the veils,
It was like August 21st, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
And so is there something that you can help teach us now, like something that might be easy for people to do?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. We can do that.
Do you want to do that?
Yes, of course. I would love some tips or little processes or something that we can do, or meditation, whatever feels good.
Yeah, we could do a little meditation to help everyone find their own inner acupuncture needle, if we're going to follow that.
Yeah, let's do it.
What's our timeline on?
We have 15 minutes.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, we can do it.
Do you mind doing that?
No, I would be happy to do this. That's what I'm here for. So the more individuals are empowered to do this on their own, right? Yeah,
right.
That's
I like it.
Right, exactly. Okay, so go ahead and close your eyes. So everyone listening at home or wherever you are, close your eyes. And we'll just come into our bodies with our breath. So deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth with a sigh. So breathing is so important. Inhaling through your nose
Exhaling with a sigh. This time imagine sending your energy down through the end of your spine into the earth. I'll do this a few more times. Inhaling. Exhaling, sending your energy down through the tip of your spine into the earth. Throwing a nice big root. We'll inhale a few more times like this. Just big belly breath in. Sending it down into the earth through your roots. So now with your next inhalation, imagine that you're drawing in light. So yellow light, white light, whatever light feels good to you, whatever light you see. Just breathe it in. Breathe it in through the top of your head, through your crown chakra into your body. So inhaling. And now sending all of that down through your roots into the earth. We'll do 5 more rounds of this. Inhaling light into your crown chakra, into your body. Exhaling it, sending it down into the earth through your roots. Okay, I'm going to eat a banana. Okay. Inhaling with the light. Bringing it into your body. Exhaling, sending it down into the earth, growing a huge, strong root. Now, as you inhale, allow your focus and your awareness to go down into your roots. Go way down there into the earth. Let yourself become aware of all of the other roots. So all of us who are listening and doing this together, even if you listen to this 5 years from now, right? We are consciously connecting all of us together. Feel that connection. Now allow yourself to feel the consciousness of the roots of all of the trees that are down there too. And now as you inhale, allow yourself to draw up this energy from the earth, the energy from the tree roots into your body. And as you exhale, sending this energy up through your crown chakra, out and up. And we'll do this a few more times, bringing your focus back to the roots. Breathing up all of that nourishing energy, that love energy, very grounded, safe. Breathe that up into your body. And as you exhale, giving it back to the cosmos, releasing it up through your crown chakra. And now we'll just breathe a few times quietly on our own, so that you can experience yourself as the intermediary between this cosmic healing light and the healing earth energy. It is a two-way flow, and you are in the middle. You are the facilitator. And so while we're doing this, let's tie it back into that big ring I saw around the moon so many moons ago, right? So let's imagine everyone watching right now standing in a big circle together. Feel the energy of the consciousness that we're creating by intentionally becoming more conscious together. Breathe that into your body. Good. So couple deep breaths, and then we'll slowly come out. Inhaling into your body, big belly breath. Exhaling, letting it all go. And one more deep breath, all the way in and out through your mouth. And as you exhale, slowly opening your eyes and coming back to the present moment, here and now, knowing that that connection with the earth and the cosmos that you just opened, and with everyone in this big consciousness building tribe, you have intentionally connected with all of that.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Oh, you're welcome. Pleasure.
Come up.
Okay.
I felt very grateful, and I felt like I was being of service. I felt,
Yes, you are.
yeah, it felt good. I like that. I'm adding that to my daily meditation. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
And what's wonderful is that there is no such thing as time and space. So, like you said, if you do hear this not on, what is today, June 26, 2017, you're just adding to it. And we're all here at the same time.
Right. We're just in eternal now. Yeah. Where we go to that space. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Cool.
Yeah, of course.
So it is, I feel like we're expanding on it. Like for maybe the last 3 or 4 shows, we've expanded on this idea of waking up and getting our vibration, our frequencies higher and elevated so that we can do this work. And it seems like just the right person comes in for the next show and the next show, and we just keep expanding and keep expanding and expounding. But so I think that's wonderful. So Bobby, did you do it?
No.
Producer Bobby in the background. he did not. He's running the board over here.
Well, we're doing this whole new thing with Skype and FaceTime Live, and it's so we just keep building on how we get this out there. But wow, I'm fuzzy. I'm light-headed.
I am, but I feel that simple little exercise feels so empowering to me for some reason. I'm saying it again because that's something everybody can do every day to be of service, to keep grounding. And I love, when I meditate, I definitely ground into the earth. That's my number one thing to do. But to connect it and bring it back to the earth like a gift, that felt lovely. And to give the earth energy to the cosmos, that felt lovely. I really felt that.
A lot done inadvertently, right? Just through exploring, industry and being industrious, we've accidentally, stopped the flow of energy from the earth up through us back up, right? So, you know what I mean by that? We've cut ourselves off. Okay.
So continue on.
Right. So, part of the gift and part of the service is reopening and reinstating that, my body is also a vessel for earth energy to come up and out, because it's a two-way flow.
It's a two-way flow. And what I just thought, I don't know if this is how this works, but I just saw a pot, and that when the lid is on the pot and the steam and, you're cooking and everything's getting bigger and bigger, eventually the pot explodes.
Right.
And so you wonder if this energy is maybe not trapped, but it's kind of concealed in there.
That's right.
And then it comes out in volcanic action and earthquakes
and war.
And it has to get out. We're almost done.
We have about 5 minutes, girls. You get your mom back.
So you wonder if by doing this, it does release some of the extra pressure.
Right. So we're giving the energy somewhere to go that's constructive and healthy and natural, right? Instead of feeling like we can either implode or explode.
Right.
Because we have forgotten to keep our feet open. We've forgotten to keep our crown open. We have people all over the world telling us, to connect with spirit, you need to go through another person, or, all those. So that shuts off the crown chakra, and this whole idea that we're somehow
not part of nature, right? It has cut off our feet, cut off this connection that our feet are connected with the earth, and so
kind of bobbing. It's kind of bobbing.
right, we're walking around full of steam and imploding and exploding.
Well, it always comes out sideways. I mean, things come out sideways. I mean, I know before I really felt and realized all of this, I would get upset about something, and I always at least knew to look and say, this isn't why I'm upset, but I haven't dealt with the real issue, and so it just goes, and then I end up, some guy cuts me off, and I'm like, why did you cut me off? Right. Well, that's not why I'm upset. I'm not upset about the guy.
Reminds me of
so your chakras are overfull.
Exactly.
Because your energy's not going up and your energy's not going down, and there's nothing coming in from either direction,
Yeah, exactly.
It reminds me of that famous poem that the world is too much with us now. Getting and spending, we lay waste our powers, and little we see in nature that is ours. We're just the world is this 3D world is too much with us, and we're disconnected from nature. I know that's how.
Right, we forgot. And it's time to remember. It's time to remember.
There's so much magic. There's so much magic.
Love Wordsworth.
So I posted this. Did you see my red dragonfly? Smith?
Your red what?
I posted red dragonflies. I've never seen them. Apparently they're pretty common. We have a cardinal and dragonflies. I don't know if you've ever been to my parents' house. Backyard. Yeah.
Oh, magic.
I know. And it is, and I keep getting all these red signs, which
Maybe grounding, maybe
vitality. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
And a hummingbird. I have a hummingbird too.
So, I mean, all these beautiful nature.
Right.
Nature.
So that's the ability to see the big picture, to see in symbols.
Symbolically, I love that, and you could read that for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what's up with you?
I can't wait to get out to New Braunfels. We're coming out next week to celebrate 4th of July and get in that river and hug those trees and hug you and get to meet your family. How does your husband now? Because when you said you were a vortex opener, he's like, oh no, too much, too far. How is he now with that?
I mean, he's not freaked out that I do that, but that I wrote it under my bio section on your Facebook page. He's like, that's just too much, And I was like, maybe it is. I don't know. I changed it back to my regular tagline. It just says, peace is an inside job.
Isn't that the truth? Peace is an inside job.
I
can't wait to meet him. So
he's amazing. Helps to keep me grounded. Yeah. I know, that's kind of husband, you'll meet him. Same way. Jeff is just an incredible man. Charles, same way. I mean, he's just very grounding. And I think that's that partnership. Yeah, and he kind of sees, have you ever read those books, The Wheel of Time? Oh. You should read them sometime.
I haven't read that.
I don't know. It's all about magic and all of that. So anyway, he changes himself as my warder. He helps to protect me and holds space for me so that I can do what I'm doing.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. I view my husband that way. I'm not sure if he views it. No, he does. Yeah.
Well, we will put links to everything we talked about today on how to get a hold of Heather Huff, the awakening coach, a vortex opener. I'll put that on your tagline because you are a vortex opener.
Yes,
we'll put everything on our website, which is JoyRideShow.com, for people to be able to get a hold of you and be a part of learning how to meditate, learning how to connect and ground to the earth, and being of service. I think that's a beautiful thing that we can all do. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you so much for having me on here. It was such a pleasure.
Thanks for being open to it.
I was so happy when you asked me.
Yay.
Yeah, me too.
And we'll be out there.
Wonderful.
We'll be out there next week. Yeah, we have about a minute. We're just wrapping up to say goodbye. And this has been fun Skyping. Thank you to everybody who's joined us on Facebook Live. If you have any questions or want to reach out, just check us out on JoyRideShow.com and look for the episode blog for Heather Huff. What do we show? 53, 54, something like that?
54.
I have to look at the number.
Yeah.
But thank you for everybody, and just really have a great week, and happy 4th of July. It'll be next week. Are we doing a live show next week? We haven't even decided yet.
I'm not sure. We could. That would be really fun.
Maybe we'll do something live from New Braunfels. We'll see. All right. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you on Facebook.
Trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you and I think to myself, what a wonderful